for the time being, let me get rid of this. Cool. So, now, oh my god, what did I just do? Alright everybody, hello, and welcome back to another episode of Good Company Freeplay with me, Spacefish, and welcome back to our beautiful factory, which is being ever more automated. In the last episode, we finalized this whole setup right here, getting all this stuff built out in our newest building acquisition and getting it all moved over to our production right here for all our delivery bots. Now, while this is already being delivered, we have not actually taken care yet of integrating all this stuff into the production, and with a good bunch of this actually being backlogged now on these conveyors right here, you can see we've got a lot of gears right here, there's metal sundries coming in over there too. I think it is time to actually start integrating all this stuff and reshuffling this whole production, which will be one whole mad task, but I'm very much looking forward to taking it on. And also, there goes my camera just snapping back up to my tune as usual. Now, also, we seem a bit low on research points, to be honest. It feels like our research employees have actually caught up, which is kind of crazy, given that we don't really have that many research tables, but, well, we should have something to very much fix that well, actually not fix that, but definitely speed up our research sometime soon, so that should also be pretty cool. Probably something that we will take on soonish, but for the time being, while the time is still paused and we're not making any advancements, I think it is time to look at all this, and I've actually just made a discovery right here. We're actually using rods here? Oh god, how did I miss that? So it seems that we're actually using rods for these things and not just metal sundries, which is a bit of an issue given that we are only actually transporting metal sundries out over here. Now, the thing is, I don't really have the space. Do I have the space to adjust that? Not really, I mean, I would be blocking all this, which I guess would be fine. Like, the thing is, we theoretically have a bit of overproduction in terms of, like, metal rods right here, right? So, we're making, like, 25 every minute, and I think we're using, like, 15. So, in theory, we've got overcapacity on both these machines right here. Now, the thing is, I could theoretically buy this building, push this out to over there, have a storage segment right there, have a retrieval segment right there, which only retrieves the middle rods and pushes it around here into the machine. Is that even worth it? I'm kind of wondering, is it even worth it? Like, is it also kind of good enough for frequency? Because we're only going to be able to do this with one machine. Right, we can make 10 a minute. Now the question is, how much do we use here? We're using 2. Well, a minute, right, the frequencies are, well, a day. So we're using 4 every 0.6 days. I mean, if we only have this, it would kind of honestly be enough. Now the question is, where else do we use stuff? We use metal sundries out there, which is fine. We're not going to use metal rods up here. We're not going to use metal rods down there. We don't use metal rods in here, I don't think. Okay, so I mean, in theory, that could be doable. In theory, that would actually be doable. It's kind of, you know, a bit of a janky solution and would take a bit of space right here, but I think with like the way the conveyors bend and everything, it should be doable. So I think we're going to give it a try. We're also just going to have to remember to actually make an overhead conveyor right here, because we of course have logistics employees moving around here. So 90k just for automating even more things. I said last episode that we were going to get to some product design in this episode, but I'm actually not quite sure about that anymore, given that this is probably going to reach a bit of complexity levels here that I had not really foreseen, so we will see about that. For the time being, let's push this out to there. Let's go to conveyor belts, grab a big overhead transporter, just like that, and we will grab a conveyor belt that will go right into here. Now, what we will be doing right here, and this will kind of be the thing that is going to take up all the space in here, which kind of annoying. I hope we don't need too much space here for this production. We will eventually find out, I suppose, but for the time being, this is going to be the way that we solve this. You know, if it ever gets too crazy, we may just put, like, a table back at the other place. But for the time being, I would really like to solve it this way to actually get all the things automated that we thought we were going to get automated. So, what we're going to have to do here is we will have to have an automated storage segment, and we will actually need to move this thing here one closer. So this will store all of our metal rods into there, and then we will need 2 automatic retrieval segments just like that, and that is already a bit of an issue because I will need to actually move this a tad bit. Now, the question kind of being, how can I move this in a way that I don't take up too much space? Does this work? If this goes here and that goes... No, but that doesn't work either, so we're going to have to move that even one further back. I think like this, because, well, the way that conveyors bend in this version of the game still, right? So we will have to move that all the way over there, basically. This will be what we put out right here. And then we will grab another conveyor belt and we'll kind of just go all the way up here and all the way around there and all the way into there and or out there and like that and craziness. No, wait, actually I think we'll pull this one further out to get that away from the wall here a bit, and then we will be out of conveyor parts, which is going to be a bit of an issue because we need a huge ton to still get over there. So I also hope, by the way, can we cross the aisles here? I guess we can move it around there. But we will need way more conveyor parts. Good thing that we have this automated conveyor part assembly. Nicely foreseen that issue, I guess. Now, she's not using that door, is she? No. Okay, good. So now, what we will be doing is we will go and grab another overhead transporter right here, push it around the other way, and then we'll use this door to actually push that conveyor belt, which is hopefully attached that way, into here, around this very corner, and back into the machine. So that is kind of the idea right here. Now, we use batches of 15 rods, so we will set up a rule to actually grab 15 rods every time. Just like that, and yeah, that's kind of going to be that. And then we can grab 10 rods every time on this thing here, basically, and 9, 10. And that should kind of split the loads that this thing puts out up equally, which should be nice. Now, I think we're going to have a bit of an initial issue with, like, a backlog needing to build up before, like, the whole mess resolves itself, so we will kind of see how that works. But this thing I will kind of just pull out to the same length as the other conveyors, and we will just have an overhead transporter here as well, just in case we ever need that, you know, so people can actually move through here nicely. And then we will basically go all the way around here. We'll keep things off the wall here again. And, do we just close this off here? Or can we do this? No, I think we need to close this off here, to be honest, because we don't have any more space on the other side. We'll put that into there. We're already nearly out of conveyor parts again, but beautifully, we've got another 15 right there, which will probably, honestly speaking, not quite be enough for the setup, but that should also be somewhat fine, I think. So we can just keep time playing at this point, because we've actually fixed this part right here, I hope. Now, this will actually idle a bit till things get there, but, you know, eventually they will, and at that point it will hopefully be fine. Can I set a priority here for these? No, I can't, so I can't really tell what's going to be more important, but you can see right there. Is that all? How many is that? That's not 10, is it? Is that individual metal rods right now? No, that was actually... What? Where did all these metal rods just come from? Holy moly, that's crazy. But okay, so that's great. This is all starting to flow over, which is also going to be nice. And then, well, slowly but surely, we'll actually start pulling the conveyor out right here. And I think... I mean, is there any way? No, there's no way to really access this part right here, so... I'm thinking we'll just kind of pull this out over here, to be honest, and run out of conveyor belts in the last little bit of a stretch here, but we've got another 15 parts right there, and that's then going to be good enough to actually finish this so we can pause time again. So we'll just pull this around the corner as usual, kind of save us a bit of space right here, and actually that may not be the best of ideas. I could be blocking some things here that way, which I really don't like. Can we kind of move these tables about the place? I guess we can in a minute, to be honest. I guess we can. So we will put the small shelving rack right here, which all these metal rods will be stored into. Now this is of course blocked, but we will change that. So what I'm gonna do right here is I'll actually get rid of these tables first. We'll have to find out where we need to feed things into in just a second. But first things first, let me go and actually get rid of the employees that are working on them. Sorry for that, people. But then we'll get those tables out of the way, basically. And then I've got this stuff, which is like full of things, which is kind of annoying, slightly. But we can actually move these metal rods that we still have into over there. And then we can just grab metal sundries and the metal rods and kind of empty that stuff out. Now that's not going to be that easy with the other tables, because eventually these shelving racks are also going to fill up, and then we're going to probably have a bit of an issue, but we will find out how to solve that on the go. For the time being, let me get rid of this. Cool. So now, oh my god, what did I just do? Control Z, stop, please. Oh my god, I just wanted to get rid of the I just wanted to get rid of the freaking plow, and then I destroyed something. Okay, that should be easily fixable though. All fine, no worries. Don't panic just yet. We will just do that, and then we will do that, and then we'll go into logistics zones, and we'll go that, and then that's kind of fixed again. Costs us a bit of money, but other than that, it's fine. So now we can kind of make space here though, by moving these things to over there. And, well, that thing to over there, and that thing to over there, and that way people can now move across right here beautifully without any issues, I'd hope. Now, next thing on the list then, I think, is actually getting things out of the way that we don't need anymore, and there's probably a bunch of them. So, starting with these, we will get rid of all of these employees right here, and then subsequently the tables, and also the shelving rack, which is gonna, as we said earlier, be a bit of an issue with actually emptying that. So, I mean, I've got all this metal in my inventory now, which we can probably use in some production machinery out here for a start, and maybe we can just stack it into there eventually as well. But you can see this is actually all pretty darn full, except for this. This is like super empty, as I kind of expected, so hopefully not going to be the biggest of issues with like frequencies and restocking and everything. Now that is all moved over. We've got a lot of plastic parts, which I'll also need to kind of figure out where to put, and I'll also need to move this table here with plastic parts, but I can probably move that over there in a second when I've cleaned these two tables out. Actually going to be also a bit difficult, I think. We've also got this basic workbench right here, which we don't need anymore, but there's so much stuff in this that, like, I think we'll kind of have to just gradually put this stuff in there as we go. So I'll just make sure to remove all the logistics connections for the time being, and then, well, and then we'll kind of take care of the rest as we go, I suppose. So like the metal we won't need anymore in there, for example. The rest of the stuff we will, because this table here is going to stay, so I think I'll need some input parts for that. But before I actually deconstruct the tables, let me say goodbye to my cherished employees for the time being. And this one here we won't need either, because we're of course making the gears. So that is a bunch of space cleared up right there, like that. Beautiful. And that is pretty much all the tables removed for a start that we don't need anymore. Now, like, kind of reorganizing the whole thing will be a whole different matter. I will stash this into the corner here for the time being, and then I think we can probably move this into the corner here instead of keeping it there. So we will go and do that. Actually, we can probably even just do this and then that. Perfect. Okay, so that saves us a lot of space in that regard. Now, Does this just kind of fit in like that? If I do this and then I do that, perfect, okay. So that way we've kind of moved all these up against the wall, saved a bit of space there. I think I'll keep those here because I can probably just stash something in the middle, or eventually we will maybe end up moving those over. I don't really quite know yet, to be honest. Now this thing we can also just move into some corn for the time being. We do not need that anymore. What, this courier pallet? Oh, this is the sellout courier pallet. Okay, so we'll move that to over there, gets us a bit closer to the rest of the stuff, and well, we can put tables here instead if I ever need them. So that's that more cleared up. Now the question is, what do we end up doing with this basic workbench right here? I'm kind of thinking we're maybe... Actually, no. Like, the thing is, right, I need gears here on this thing. I think I have an idea, to be honest. I think what we're going to do... So we're going to move these to over there, basically. Going to move this thing to over here. Well, actually, more like here? Like that. Right, then we can move this shelving rack to where these guys are, and this shelving rack can basically go right here with an automated storage segment that automatically puts the gears into there. Logistics employees can still approach from the other side, and then we will just have these tables right here, basically. We just cut that off, unfortunately. Now we could also go for the approach of just turning them around, and oh no, actually we can just do this. People can still move along right here, so that's totally fine. We'll put that right there. That keeps our plastic production up. This is in the corner right there, beautifully. And what's this shelving rack about? Wait, is that... What does this shelving rack belong to? Or what does that one belong to? Why do I have... Oh... Do I have two shelving racks for this guy? Why though? Does that make much of any sense to any one of you? It's kind of weird to me, to be honest. Just somewhat weird. Because, like... Oh, I think it was for the gears guy, wasn't it? But, like, why is this not... It's just weird. Okay, let's change this stuff about a bit. So, I think this can still keep going into there. We will get rid of this connection. We will get rid of that connection. And I kind of have to actually empty out the shelf so I can get new connections going, I think, which is weird and annoying, but I'm sure we can take care of it. So the metal parts go out. I mean, kind of the mechanical parts could honestly stay in the gears. Because that's, right, this is kind of resembling my inputs. So, in theory, how do I get the gear into here now? I don't quite know, but this would definitely go out into there, and we would have 2 stacks of those, and we would kind of have 2 stacks of these, and what's the other stuff blocked with now? Oh, that's 3 stacks, okay, that's 2 stacks. Oh, right, and then we've got the gears kind of in there, which... I think once that part of the gears actually reaches this shelf, I should be able to set the new connection up, I hope. And then we would just pull that into there. Right, we've got a new connection going up there, that goes away. And this goes away as well. Then we've got that kind of shelf actually as a leftover too, and we'll just move that down there to signify that it's a leftover for us. And we'll just have to clean that out eventually as well. So we've got kind of 3 leftovers. Let's actually make sure that we have them all in one spot so we don't forget about any. And then we will need a storage segment right here. And in theory, once that bit of gears gets stored into the shelf, which happens right now, we should be able to say, oh, you know, pull the gears from there. Nope, we aren't. How did I set that up all the time? There was something I usually do. Okay, so the rules as well. How do I get rid of these? These shouldn't be there anymore. Reserved for logistics. No, don't be reserved for logistics. Contents. Oh my god, why? Do we have auto logistics on in that? Oh my god, what do I do now? put it in there, I guess. Do we have auto logistics on in this zone, or no? Why is this that messy? These rules should all not be there anymore. All of these rules should be gone. You know what? I think we're just gonna say... We're just gonna put that shelf right there. We're just gonna get rid of it. We're gonna make a new one because that shelf seems kind of messed up to me at the moment. So, I do not want metal. Please. Okay, anyways. We will eventually just sell that shelf. We'll put a new one there. I don't know. Like, sometimes I just seem to get these shelves super messed up somehow. I don't even know. But, basically now, what we will need for this, let's redo this. What we will need for this is metal sundries, gears, and we will then have the output. So the output will go into there. We will have metal sundries coming in right here. That will be put into there, and we will actually need to kind of max that, because there's going to be a lot of metal sundries in there. So metal sundries get put into there. Now we've got the gears. The gears come in here automatically, kind of theoretically. So, no, that doesn't work. I'm kind of unsure right now how I usually did the gear stuff. I always, like, that question always comes up for me again. And I can't really tell you how I usually take care of this. Like, every time I set up this kind of connection, I'm always like, how do I do the gears thing now? Like that. Okay, so that's like now a connection. Perfect. Now we're gonna actually up the amount of things in there, just like evenly, I guess. And that's gonna be that done. Now that's been one hell of a mess already, hasn't it? Like, I thought we were gonna design some fancy new products and stuff in the last episode here, but like just redoing all this stuff is absolute insanity already. So what we'll have in here is gonna be the metal rods. Now the metal rods kind of exclusively really just go into that compartment production down there. So I would hope that doing this, we can set that up. Beautiful. Then we've got some more metal sundries needed in here, of course, which we will just set up like that, and that is going to be that compartment production done. Now the metal sundries need to go in here as well, and they will need to go into there as well, and we will also need to redo that mechanical part connection right there. Now why I have that many exclamation marks right here, I'm really not quite sure, because I don't have them for anything else over there. But it should all be moving in fine, I hope. Fingers crossed. Other than that, we don't need any more new connections anywhere, so that should be everything working, I hope. Except for all this mess down here, this kind of being in the middle of the room when we could probably place that a bit more optimally. But, gears are coming in. Beautiful. We are out of metal sundries down there, but that should eventually be changing, I hope, when logistics employees decide to go and pick that up. How many do we actually have in here? Only 3, that seems a bit low. Maybe we'll go up to 4 here, just to make sure that we can kind of keep up with the demands of our production. But honestly, once this all gets stacked a bit more, that should not be that much of an issue. We also had some free slots in here, which you could probably allocate to something. Now, what that something may be, I'm not quite sure. Like, what do we use the most of here? 10 metal sundries, which is 10% of a batch. Okay, definitely not metal. And rods is like... Okay, so I think we're gonna up metal sundries. Or... I want to up the slots. Why can I not up the slots? Metal sundries. Hello? Hello! Another messed up shelf. Beautiful. It's just another messed up shelf in this world. That's why it's not fully used. I don't know how I keep messing them up, to be honest. I've got no idea in the world. But okay, so that's gonna be that. I'm just gonna actually move this over to here. Maybe not. Another messed up something. God, how is everything? Like, I mess all these things up somehow. I cannot explain it to you all, but well, we're just gonna kind of just try and fill this up to the best of our abilities, get rid of some of the materials. Now, other than that, the screws seem to be reaching things nicely. Well, metal sundries, I'm sorry, the metal rods are reaching things nicely as well. We've got logistics employees starting to spread all the stuff across the factory, which is beautiful as well. I think that should in theory be somewhat it. That should be kind of everything we ever wanted from this. I mean, look at how much cleaner this place is now got. There's so much space for activity, so much room for improving the product. Sounds kind of good. My employees out here are just still chilling, being like, empty my shelves, please, which, you know, is going to happen eventually, and then they're going to get back to work and stash more stuff into it, and God, the one guy stashes more stuff into it, the other already doesn't have any space left, so that's honestly all still very fine, I think, and, well, with a little bit of tidying up still needed, I think that concludes our crazy automation process down here for the bot production. I mean, seriously, look at how much we have done up here. It's absolutely insane, kind of extended the whole process across 3 different buildings just to get things going, but now I think it is all pretty much working like a clockwork, so I very much like that. I think in the next episode then a tiny bit of tidying up left here, probably just shuffling the shelves around a bit to optimize for space so I can have more room for actually extending the thing in the future. We gotta also empty these things, which honestly I may just end up doing without you all, and then we will finally get back to product design and actually designing our final product, well, final new product of this very series. So very much looking forward to that. For today though, I'm going to end it off right here. I hope you all enjoyed the episode as usual, and if you did, please make sure to hit that like button down below. That does always help out the channel a ton. And if you're new around here and haven't done so just yet, also please consider subscribing right down below, as well as hitting that bell icon to stay up to date on all the future upcoming episodes in good company and many other games. But with that all out of the way, as always, thanks a lot for watching everyone, and I hope I'll catch you in the next one very soon. Ciao.